The movie starts in a high-security prison in Colorado. A prisoner named Ray Breslin is warned by another inmate about a man called Jax. The inmate tells Ray that Jax is planning to attack him. The next day, just as expected, Jax tries to stab Ray with a homemade knife. But Ray is quick and strong, he fights back and wins. The fight causes a big scene and the prison guards step in. They move Ray to the secure housing unit, a special area for the most dangerous prisoners. His new cell is small with no windows, just a toilet and a security camera watching him all the time. The only thing he's allowed to keep is a Bible. Over the next few days, Ray carefully studies the guards' movements. He sees that they always take a 7-minute break to smoke outside. This gives him the perfect time to escape. Now he just needs the passcode to open his cell door. To get the code, Ray peels a thin plastic layer from the milk carton he gets with his meals. During his daily walk, he presses this plastic sheet onto the keypad. Later, he looks at the fingerprints left by the guard and figures out which numbers were pressed. With this information, it becomes much easier to guess the full passcode. Ray also finds a way to send a secret message to his team outside. He writes a letter with a hidden code, telling them to create a distraction at exactly 4 p.m. on the day of his escape. He also prepares small balls of toilet paper soaked in liquid soap for his plan. The escape day arrives. When Ray returns from his walk, he jams the door lock with the sticky toilet paper so it doesn't close properly. As soon as the guards step out for their break, Ray enters the passcode and opens his cell door. He quickly crawls through a vent that leads to the fire garage, where he puts on a firefighter's uniform. Right at that moment, his team outside blows up a car near the prison to create a distraction. As firefighters rush to the scene, Ray climbs under a fire truck and rides out of the prison unnoticed. Once outside, he jumps into a getaway car driven by his teammates, Abigail and Hush. They drive a short distance and drop him near a telephone booth. Still wearing his prison uniform, Ray walks to the booth. A police car sees him and soon more officers arrive, pointing their guns at him. Ray stays calm. He makes a phone call and says one phrase, "Showtime. Showtime." A few minutes later, a man named Lester Clark arrives. He shows official papers to the police. After reading them, the officers let Ray go. Later, Ray and Lester wait in the warden's office. When the warden arrives, he is furious. "What the hell is going on here?" he shouts. "Relax, warden," Lester says with a smile. Then he tells the truth. Ray isn't really a prisoner. He is the co-founder of Breslin and Clark, a company that tests prison security. We work for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Our job is to check if maximum security prisons are really escape-proof. Ray's job is to break out of prisons to test their security. Over the years, he has built a reputation as the man who can escape from anywhere. The warden is curious and listens as Ray explains his plan. After finding out that the isolation block was close to an unguarded fire garage, he made enemies on purpose so he would be put in solitary confinement. The rest of the escape plan happened just as expected. The warden is amazed by Ray's smart thinking and asks him one last question before letting him go. What kind of man chooses to spend most of his life in prison? Some people can paint, some can sing. Me. I escape, Ray Breslin replies. After the meeting, Ray returns to his office for the first time in 5 months. Waiting for him is a 3D puzzle, specially made by Hush, who has spent months working on it. But Ray solves it in seconds. Hush is both impressed and annoyed. Meanwhile, Ray's business partner, Lester, has set up a meeting with a CIA lawyer named Jessica Miller. Jessica read Ray's book about prison security and was very impressed. She wants him to test a new secret prison. This prison holds the most dangerous criminals, so bad that no country wants to keep records of them. It is privately owned and its location must stay secret. Ray's team thinks the job is too dangerous and refuses. Then Lester reveals the offer, millions of dollars. Ray still isn't sure. But Jessica warns him that the prisoners inside are not just criminals, they are monsters. This makes Ray think twice, and even though his team doesn't like it, he agrees. Jessica gives Ray a fake identity, Anthony Porto, a Spanish hitman. His only contact inside will be the warden, Roger Marsh. If something goes wrong, Ray must use an evacuation code to get out. On the day of the mission, Hush places a tracker inside Ray's arm so they can follow his location. But things go bad quickly. A van stops and masked men grab him. They cut out the tracker, making him impossible to trace. Before Ray can fight back, they inject him with a strong drug, knocking him out. While being transported, Ray wakes up for a moment inside a helicopter. He sees a guard stab another prisoner and throw the body out of the helicopter. Before Ray can react, the guards see him awake and inject him again. Ray finally wakes up inside the prison. He is in a glass cell raised above the ground. Other prisoners are locked in similar glass cages. Guards in masks walk around with rifles and cameras watch every move. Soon, Ray is taken to meet the warden Hobbs. "Who's Warden Marsh?" Ray asks. "There is no Warden Marsh," Hobbs replies coldly. Ray feels uneasy. He remembers seeing a guard kill a prisoner in the helicopter, but Hobbs doesn't care. Desperate, Ray gives the evacuation code. Hobbs laughs. "So you just say a number and I let you go? Funny." Then he tells Ray that he is just another prisoner now. Meanwhile, outside the prison, Abigail and Hush try hard to find Ray, but it's not easy. Inside, prisoners are sent to the yard, a place called Babylon. Ray is still shocked when the warden calls him by his fake name, Porto. Another prisoner hears this and seems to recognize it. On the way to the yard, Ray sees guards beating prisoners badly. He realizes the guards have full power and can do anything they want. Later, a group of big, strong men surround Ray, ready to give him a rough welcome. Ray refuses and breaks one of their fingers. Before they can attack, another prisoner steps in with his own group. His name is Emile Rotmy. Emile tries to talk, but Ray isn't interested. "What's your name?" Emile asks. "The Fourth Musketeer," Ray says, avoiding the question. Emile keeps talking. He says he used to work for a man named Mannheim. Mannheim is smart. He takes money from the rich and gives it to the poor, Emile explains. "I've heard that story before," Ray says, uninterested. Meanwhile, in his office, Warden Hobbs scolds a guard for killing the prisoner on the helicopter. The guard is shocked when Hobbs says the cost of that prisoner will be taken from his salary. "The price of that prisoner is equal to a month of my pay," the guard complains. "You're lucky. The man you killed wasn't important," Hobbs replies. It's clear this prison is a business, not just a place for criminals. Inside the prison, Ray starts watching the guards in the building looking for weak points. Emile keeps trying to talk to him. "What are you looking at?" Emile asks. "Need a favor?" Emile offers after a moment. "The favor, man," Ray responds. Ray wants to learn more about the prison. He needs to go to solitary confinement to see what's there. To do that, he asks Emile for help. Emile grins and punches Ray hard in the face. "That's a favor. Sometimes favors hurt," Emile jokes. They start a brutal fight, catching the attention of all the prisoners. Watching from the security cameras, Warden Hobbs smirks, amused by the show. Soon, Ray and Emile are thrown into solitary confinement, exactly where Ray needs to be. A small room serves as both a prison cell and a torture chamber. The heat inside is unbearable, like an oven. Bright halogen lights shine down, making it even worse by confusing and dehydrating the prisoners. In my country we call this a sauna. Warden Hobbs watches everything through security cameras, enjoying their suffering. After a whole day in this heat, a prison doctor comes to check on Ray. Ray tries to talk to him, asking where the prison is. The doctor hesitates, unsure of what to say. Before he can answer, a prison officer arrives and demands to know what Ray asked. Nervous, the doctor lies, saying they only talked about dehydration. But Ray hears everything and realizes the doctor might be his way out. Meanwhile, outside the prison, Abigail and Hush question Lester, demanding to know where Ray is. They tell him to ask Jessica for answers. At first, Lester refuses, reminding them that everything is going according to plan. But Hush threatens him, forcing him to change his mind. Finally, Lester agrees to call Jessica. Back in prison, Ray is let out of the hot cell and tells his friend Emile what he discovered. He noticed the floor is made of steel, not aluminum. Since the place is underground and has moisture, the steel will rust over time. If he can remove the rivets, he might escape. Ray asks Emile to find a metal plate to help loosen the rivets. Emile acts fast. He tells the guards he's ready to talk to the warden about Mannheim, his boss. During the meeting, the warden asks Emile where Mannheim is. Instead of answering, Emile mocks him and draws a fake map. Furious, Hobbs orders his men to torture Emile. The guards shove a water hose down his throat. But during all this, Emile secretly steals a drain cover. Later, Emile gives Ray the drain cover and asks what his plan is. Ray finally tells him everything. He says they can heat the rivets using the lamps in the chamber. At 100 degrees Celsius, steel expands and the rivets will pop off. To do this, Ray polishes the drain cover with toothpaste so it can reflect heat. Ray has also figured out something shocking. The warden used Ray's own book to design the prison so it would be impossible to escape. From his observations, Ray thinks the prison is deep underground, maybe inside a cave. Emile agrees to help and prepares a distraction. Emile picks a fight with another prisoner named Jav, insulting his mother. A huge fight breaks out. The guards rush in, breaking it up and throwing the prisoners into isolation cells. While inside, Ray begins heating the rivets, making sure he stays out of the camera's view. When he's done, he knocks on the wall, signaling Emile. Emile starts screaming like a madman, getting the guards' attention. Ray blocks his cell's camera with a piece of bread and slips into the vent system. But as he moves through the tight space, he accidentally breaks a valve, causing a flood. Meanwhile, Warden Hobbs notices the flood and inspects the damage. He sees that some rivets are missing and realizes someone has been tampering with the prison. At the same time, Lester calls Hobbs and reveals a secret. Anthony Porto isn't his real name. He is actually Ray Breslin, the world's best escape artist. Instead of removing him, Lester orders Hobbs to keep Ray locked up forever. Lester is running an illegal prison paid for by powerful investors. He is also hunting Mannheim, who created a program that could destroy the global banking system. Since Ray has been helping Emile, Hobbs orders his men to break Ray's spirit through sleep deprivation and beatings. Emile tries to keep Ray strong, but Ray is getting weaker. One day, while treating Ray's wounds, the prison doctor starts feeling guilty. Ray talks to him again, reminding him of the doctor's oath to protect people. The doctor isn't sure if Ray is a good man but listens. During their conversation, Ray secretly steals some medical supplies. Ray and Emile now focus on studying the guards. Since they all wear masks, it's hard to tell them apart. But Ray watches their habits closely. He gives them nicknames based on how they walk or act. This helps him track their shifts. To get more time to talk to the doctor, Emile stabs Ray in the thigh. While stitching him up, the doctor listens to Ray again. Ray tells him to check the warden's office for proof that he isn't a criminal. That night, the doctor sneaks into the office and finds Ray's book, confirming his story. Now convinced Ray is innocent, the doctor asks how he can help. Ray tells him to send an email to Emile's contact in Casablanca. Meanwhile, Ray and Emile plan their next move. They need to know where the prison is. Using stolen glasses and cardboard, Ray builds a simple navigation tool. To use it, they must reach the deck to see the stars. Emile asks for help from Jav, a Muslim prisoner, knowing that his religion requires him to pray outside. Jav offers to spy for the warden in exchange for prayer time on deck. The warden agrees. Once outside, Jav uses the tool and calculates their location. They are in the Atlantic Ocean near Morocco. With this information, Emile remembers he has a friend in Casablanca who can help. Ray fakes being sick by swallowing the stolen medical powder. During the checkup, he tells the doctor his real name and asks him to send an email to Casablanca. That night, the doctor does it. The escape plan is set. Ray tricks the warden by giving him a fake location for Mannheim. At the same time, Jav tells the warden about a fake riot, so the guards focus on another area. While the guards are distracted, Ray, Emile, and Jav run for the deck. But before they reach it, the doors lock. Just then, helicopters arrive. Emile's friends sent a rescue team. A gunfight breaks out. Jav gets shot and can't move. Ray realizes he must disable the ship's power system to unlock the doors. He tells Emile to go to the helicopter while he stays behind. Jav knows he won't make it, so he asks for a gun. He fights back, killing some guards before he is overwhelmed. Ray, meanwhile, fights a prison officer and kills him. He reaches the control room and shuts down the power, unlocking the doors. Emile runs to the helicopter under heavy gunfire. He picks up a machine gun and shoots back, covering the rescue team. He wants to wait for Ray, but they are running out of time. Meanwhile, Ray hides in a water tank. When the warden turns the power back on, the tank flushes him out into the ocean. Hobbs realizes what happened and rushes outside. Emile sees Ray in the water and lowers a ladder. Ray grabs it just in time. Hobbs starts shooting at them. Emile gets shot but keeps going. Ray fires back, hitting an oil tank on the deck. The explosion engulfs the warden and his men in flames. The helicopter flies toward Morocco. Ray and Emile are finally free.